show was so much better with that other guy end of last week. What am I doing back here?
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into another edition of Southwest Bias, brought to you by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious accident, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their link in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. And we are live from Studio K. Wow, I messed up the point. It's been too long. Live from Studio K, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Remember to become a member of the Inner Circle today and start saving on gas now. 25 cents off your first 5 fill-ups. And who can't use that? Download that Circle K app today for free. Sometimes you got to make decisions that suck in the moment, that are tough, that are just hard to deal with. My daughter has gone through that. She had to have surgery last week, and it's a procedure that will help her in the long run and sucks in the present moment. There's pain, there's difficulty, there's things that have to be done, and I think that this applies to the Arizona Cardinals in this draft. The Arizona Cardinals need offensive line help. Can't deny that. The Arizona Cardinals need help at quarterback. You can't deny that. This is a roster that has some fundamental gaps in it that you need to fill. Some people will tell you to tank. I'm not one of those. But when you look at the number 3 pick in this draft, there is nobody at quarterback to take, and there's nobody at offensive line to take. It's just the value is not there. It is as you get later into the first round, but it's not there at the top. So why go after a position that isn't something that you fundamentally need? Is it nice to have a pass rusher, an additional pass rusher? Yes. But you've gone heavy in defense in the last few drafts. You have an offensive head coach. You have to be looking at that side of the ball and trying to decide how you can buttress that, how you can make that better, how you can help there. And I only see one path to doing this. I only see one way that you can legitimately address these concerns for now and the future. You didn't do it in free agency to a full extent, and all right, fine. That's your path. And this has been a franchise, at least over the last 3 or 4 years, that has decided to build via the draft. It's kind of the approach that they've taken, and that's all right. But if that's the path you're taking, you got to fill these holes now coming up. And Todd McShay last week, while I was out, had an interesting rumor that he brought up, and there are rumblings about some of the things that may happen. The Cardinals trading out of the 3rd pick and trading with the Cowboys. They've had trade talks reportedly. Dallas would target David Bain with that 3rd overall pick. And like we talked about, a great prospect. I just don't know. Does it help the Cardinals to take a guy like that at 3? Probably not. And then you look at, there's always a hesitation when the talent's not there to justify taking a guy with the number 3 pick and overreaching. And the Cardinals feel like that with the offensive tackle. Supposedly there's a Jeremiah Love lover in the Cardinals front office, but I don't see them having the cojones to make that kind of pick, because you're going to get killed if you make the Jeremiah Love pick. And not by this program. I've sat here, I've told you, I think he's the most talented guy in the first round of this draft, at least on the offensive side of the ball, and could have an impact. But you look at the reality of running backs in the first round, and that is just not something that I think you can legitimately take, at least not at 3, when you have okay running back depth. And we've seen high picks like Bijan Robinson and others not have the biggest impact in terms of wins when it comes down to it. So what do you do? You answer that phone from the Cardinal or from the Cowboys, and you say, you know what? Let's make a deal. We're going to go freaking Wayne Brady, and we're going to make a damn deal. Do I want what's behind door 1, 2, or 3? I'll take whatever the Cowboys are willing to do as long as it involves a handful of picks. And I think we have a graphic that kind of shows the assets that we might be talking about. This is thanks to the great Noah Wolbrecht, who put this together for the Cardinals show. Third overall pick is what the Cardinals would be trading, right? And then you look at the Cowboys' assets. They have the 12th and 20th. That is non-negotiable. Both of those picks have to be in this deal for me to make it happen. The 92nd overall pick is probably a discussion. Doubt it would happen. Maybe you get into that 112th pick. If you can recoup those picks and you look at the points, and you know what, this is the Cowboys. I think you can throw those points out because you know what, if Jerry Jones wants to do something, Jerry Jones is going to do something. Jerry Jones does not care what any chart says or number says. So I think if you could get some combination of that 12th, 20th, 92nd, and 112, I don't know if you get all of them, but some combination there, you can move down into a comfortable spot where you can take an offensive lineman at 12 and feel like you're getting the value there. Okay, that's where I think you can move down to and feel all right taking one of the top flight offensive linemen that then helps solidify it for whatever quarterback you go after in the long run. That is a way that you could potentially go. And then at 20, guess what? 20 is where you belly up to the bar and you do something crazy. You go, you know what? It's 2 a.m. and I'm going home with whoever I can find right here that I feel like can make my quarterback position better. And sure, maybe I have beer goggles on and maybe I'll have a coyote ugly moment in the morning when I realize who Ty Simpson is, but I take Ty Simpson at 20. So then you can justify, you know what, I got my offensive lineman that helps solidify things with Paris Johnson Jr. for the next 5-10 years on that offensive line. And that's set. And then I'm taking a flyer on a quarterback that could be the quarterback of the future there that can potentially help you win maybe some games at the back half of this year, but then into the future. You get a chance to kick the tires for a year. And if you decide you don't like him, Josh Rosen his ass. And then go draft somebody next year in a quarterback rich class and go, all right, that's the way we're going to play it. But you've got to take a swing for somebody else at the quarterback position. And this way you insulate yourself from getting killed for making a stretch pick at 3 or a pick at a position that is not necessarily a true need for what you're doing. There's talent on that defensive end. The question is, can that coaching staff actually get you where that defense needs to be? Can they live up to their potential? That's a coaching staff problem. You already made the decision there with Nick Rallis. That's his problem to figure out. But I don't think giving him additional top round talent is the way to go about that. You need to give somebody else, the tools. You need to give MLF, Mike LaFleur, those tools to win. Offensive line, potential quarterback of the future. I heard some people say, oh, Mike LaFleur, he hasn't earned the right to say Ty Simpson's his guy. You know when he earned the right? When he signed his name on that dotted line to become the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and he did it because he knows the quarterback position. If he says Ty Simpson is a guy we need to take a chance on, you do it. You don't do it at 3, but you maybe make a trade with the Cowboys, get 12 and 20, you do it at 20. You feel like maybe the Jets are going to take him at 16, you move again. Because now you got additional assets, you move up, you beat the Jets to him. Do what it takes if Mike LaFleur thinks he's the guy. I don't know that Mike LaFleur thinks he's the guy. And if you get 12 and 20, get an offensive lineman, you draft somebody else at 20, fine. If Mike LaFleur doesn't love it. But if Mike LaFleur thinks Ty Simpson can be the guy, you take Ty Simpson. And a deal like this with the Cowboys gives you the ability to take a chance. And that is what you need. You need the ability to take a chance and make this team better. Because at 3, you can't swing and miss. That kills you if you swing and miss at 3. It cost Monty Ossenfort his job. But guess what? You move down to 12 and 20. You take the offensive lineman at 12 you believe in. That solidifies it. And you take a chance at 20. Whether it's Ty Simpson, you take a chance somewhere else. You now have the flexibility to take a chance at 20. Where you can't at just 3 and then the first pick in the second round. You can't do, or one of the top picks in the second round. You can't do that. You can't take a chance on either of those. It has to, you wind up needing to be surefire if your 2 picks are there. But you get that additional first, you got a chance to take a chance. And I know Monty Ford has been risk averse and chance averse, but you need to take that opportunity. If the Cowboys and Jerry Jones are willing to give you a chance at a better first round for you, do it. Do it without blinking, because we know Jerry Jones doesn't always make the right deal. I mean, go look at the Micah Parsons situation. You might be able to pull a fast one on Jerry Jones. I'm taking it, and I'm running if I get the opportunity to get 12 and 20 for 3. People say, oh, it's a soft draft. Yeah, then wouldn't you want chances to get 2 guys so you up your chance to maybe hit on a guy that doesn't look like it's the strongest first round, but then you get 2 chances to actually make it happen? Trade down right now. With the Cowboys giving you an opportunity to get in the first round twice, trade down. That's what the Cardinals need to do. Fill the offensive line need, get a quarterback of the future that you can test drive this season and understand if he's the guy. And then if he's not, move on. That's your path to success. That's how you're able to do it. If you don't do that, you're going to have way too many questions at quarterback. You might reach at 3 for a guy that you don't need or doesn't fit, and then Monty Ford's out of a job, and you're essentially starting a whole nother rebuild with another GM next year and a coach you didn't hire. It's a path I don't want to go down, but maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the dreads behind the desk. It's Kevo. Kevo, how are you? I know. I'm sorry, man. I shouldn't have asked you that question. I knew how you were. I know Saturday didn't go your way. Do we need a therapy session?
No, I'm okay. I'm actually okay. But no,
I took one therapy class at Mesa Community College, so I'm prepared if you need help.
I might have to hit up you after the show for that, Espo. But no, yeah, it was a very, very, very awful, no good, very bad night on Saturday. But either way, what a ride it was, Espo.
It was. And I think that's the perspective. The end, not the way you wanted it. The beginning was great. And we'll see how it plays out. Let's go UConn tonight. I won't dwell on that. I don't want to dwell on it. Your thoughts, Cowboys, Cardinals. Do you make a move? Do you trade down to try to get 2 shots in this first round? Would you do it?
Would I do it? Oh, man. As you led the show, like, you have tough choices in life all the time, right? I think that is maybe one of the toughest choices, especially if you're Monty Ford and your job is kind of in peril if you get this one wrong. You got many wrong in the past, but I think you're running out of, mulligans, right? Oh. So I think, like, would I do it? Ultimately, this Cardinals team in a rebuilding mode, you need more talented players than, you can afford, right? So I think getting more first-round picks in a year where maybe the draft is not as top-heavy might be good for the Cardinals. You get 2 guys that could help you win in the future as opposed to, overdoing it for a Ty Simpson who might not be your guy. He might be closer to Josh Rosen than he is, Sam Darnold, for example, or whatever. But I do think that you just need more players. You need more guys that can help you win, so why not? Why not do it?
Yep, take a swing, double down. Let's see what we can get. Kevo, I want to get to one other thing before we bring in our guest, Johnny Venerable, after halftime. Yep, we'll have more Cardinals talk, but I had to get to this. Did you see these clips of Benny the Bull from last night with Dylan Brooks? Let's run one of them here for the people. Benny the Bull is playing, or actually staring down Dylan Brooks while Dylan Brooks is doing his Zen meditation stare pregame, and they just have a complete and utter stare off here. Loved that. And then the other one, somehow he gets Dylan Brooks pregame to play a little foosball with him as well. And that blew my mind too. And I gotta say, we are a pro Phoenix Suns show. I have Go, you can kind of see him here on the desk right here. Go's here in a pop figure. And I love Go. But I'm sorry, Benny the Bull snatched his chain there. Benny the Bull is the better mascot, is the best mascot in the NBA and maybe in sports. Gritty's up there too. The gorilla has fallen back for so far.
Can we play the foosball video, Espo?
Yes.
The people need to see this.
Yes, let's play the foosball one.
Number 15, Mark Williams. A 6'4" guard from G-League number 4, Jalen Green. And a 6'5" guard from Kentucky number 1, Devin Booker. The head coach from the Phoenix Suns is Jordan Ross.
Hey, do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's entertainment right there. And that's what a mascot's supposed to be. I'm sorry. But go step up your game, especially with the playoffs coming. A big hello to all the bias in the chat. Shaft, big vibe guy. Hello. Book's Journey, Kingdom Keysance. I want to read Keysance comments there. Hello to my wife as well in the chat. It says, take a chance on a mix between AP and Bijan. We wish for stars, but never draft them. Give LaFleur his McCarthy. That's why that insider is pulling for Love. I'm pulling for Love. Look, I pounded the table that Love's the best guy, but you're going to get murdered if you take him at 3. Maybe if you fall back and an offensive lineman isn't there and he falls to 12, you take your swing on Love. I don't see how you can go and take him at 3 right now if you have a trade on the table to move back. I think it'll be a big swing. And I unless that voice is Michael Bidwell or Mike LaFleur, I don't see how you make that, how Monty Ossenfort's going to make that move. Now, if it's Michael Bidwell, yeah, I can see that. Michael may hand in the card himself. And if it's Mike LaFleur, you definitely have to think about it because, again, give the guy everything, give the guy everything he needs to win. That's what you need to do. And Kingdom also says, draft Love, draft an offensive tackle second round, draft QB next year, rookie QB with Love McBride, coach who can use Marv Devontae, Big Mike Wilson. That's an offense you give a rookie QB next year, don't QB. I understand, and I cringe at the thought of a Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew season, but maybe I'm wrong. Big thank you to all the bias. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you've done both of those things, pat yourself on the back because you are a damn good human being. But you want to take that next step? I mean, you're already a good human being, but you want to support the show. Hit that join button. Become a supporter club member. Unlock great emojis and so much more. On the other side of halftime, Johnny Venerable joins us. Window Depot. I tell you, they're more than just a window store, but now they have luxury flooring. Vinyl plank flooring is now available at all stores, and the best part, it's just $2.30 per square feet, and it's in stock, ready to take home today. It's flooring that looks great, lasts long, and won't break the bank. It's perfect for transforming your space and making with what they're doing. And now they also have iron doors. I don't know if you have a security door in your home, but it was one of the best purchases I've ever made. You can have your front door open, keep that locked, get airflow in your house. Know that you're safe because nobody's getting through a steel door or an iron door. It just ain't happening. And it's starting at $9.99, which is an unbelievable price. Less than I paid for mine 4 years ago. So you're going to want to check out the Window Depot, shop online, pick up in store, browse, and order directly at windowdepot.com with real-time access to in-stock products at your nearest location. Get what you need when you need it. And husband and wife law team. If you have an accident, if you have a serious injury that occurs from it, God forbid a wrongful death, you're going to have to do research to find the right lawyer. And I'm going to tell you, the research is going to lead you right to Mark and Alexis Breyer, the husband and wife law team. And why I'm confident in saying that is because they're going to put your needs in front of theirs. They guarantee that you're going to make as much on the case as they are to their bottom line. Plus, they're going to go to trial if necessary. This isn't about, not doing the work. They're ready to do their work, and the team of lawyers there are as well, because they're part of the 1% of lawyers that are certified by the Arizona bar in serious injury and wrongful death cases. So you're going to want to go check out the husband and wife law team. If you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their link in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. A great halftime performance by Red Panda. She was at the Final Four. I said, you know what, you've been here before, but everybody loves it. I was throwing bowls. We lit one on fire. She caught it. Amazing halftime performance.
Wait, you're telling me Red Panda was here again?
Yeah, you went to the bathroom.
I did.
I told you not to go to the bathroom at halftime.
But Bo promised me that after we had Red Panda on last week, that was a one-time thing.
Nope. Sorry, you went to the bathroom, you missed it.
Wow.
And Bo doesn't call the shots around here when his face ain't on the lower third. This guy does. And calling the shots today, I'll let Johnny call a few of them. We welcome in Johnny Venerable of PHNX Cardinals. Johnny, the stash looks glorious, by the way. I just have to say that. Unbelievable stash.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It is coming together nicely, although everybody in my direct family hates it. So it's got a shelf life of about 2.5 weeks until this draft is over. But you know what? I always knew I could grow one, but I was always timid to kind of go full throttle. And I won't go clean shaven underneath. I think for me, it looks better with a little bit of scruff underneath, whereas I give Bo immense amount of credit where he is just very much committed to the skin bit.
Yeah, I was going to support you guys, and the missus threatened to divorce me if I did. So I made the choice to stay married rather than support you guys. But Noah looks like Magnum PI today. He's got the Hawaiian shirt, the mustache, and a propensity to root for Detroit teams. So he's got that going on. Cowboys rumored trade. I know you guys talked about it a little bit on PHNX Cardinals, but I'm of the belief that if the Cowboys actually come to you and are offering 2 firsts and other compensation, you hop on it, because the value that you want at 3 isn't there for what you need.
Yeah, I think, listen, if they want to come up for David Bailey, presumably that would be the player, then the Cardinals, I think, would jump at that deal. Now, I question whether or not that David Bailey is going to be there, and then we'll talk about that later on today's show. And could be an Arvell Reese scenario in which I don't think anybody's trading up for Arvell Reese. That's my opinion. But the scenario of having 12 and 20, I mean, you could argue, does it water down the pick? Probably, but at the same time, probably gives them a direct pipeline to draft Ty Simpson with the 20th overall pick, and so. My guess is if you're doing this pick, it's to draft Ty Simpson with one of those 2 first rounders. That way you don't have to completely bankrupt the rest of your draft, maybe going up from 34 later in the first round. My issue then becomes, well, who do you take 12th overall? Does Francis Mauigoa fall? Seems unlikely. So do you feel temptation to move up and get him back in the top 10 like you did with Paris? I don't love a lot of the second-tier tackle options. We've heard, Espo, that the Cardinals really want to take a tackle. So it's a tough year for premium position worth the value. I think David Bailey is the one that you can check the box and say he's worth the 3rd overall pick, and he plays a premium position. Outside of that, it's Jeremiah Love, who I know you and I are fond of, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, guys, Caleb Love that don't play premium positions that I don't think worth the 3rd overall pick.
Jeremiah, I mean, do you think if you get 12 and Love is sitting there, that could be the surprise pick rather than Ty Simpson being the guy? Maybe you move back and take Jeremiah at that pick because supposedly somebody within the organization loves him?
Yeah, for me, it's like I think he probably goes right around where Bijan and Christian McCaffrey went, which is 7, 8, 9. And so if that's the scenario, he's not going to be there. But if he were to somehow make it to 12, that's the easiest decision you'll ever make. And I think I would just find it hard to believe a team right before them wouldn't pull the trigger. And again, like, would Monty Ossenford have the stones to go up and get him just a couple picks ahead? Like, when you're getting 2 first rounders from Dallas, for the third overall pick, you're playing with house money. You're not then, pigeonholed, pivoted into one specific position at that point. Like you can't sit here and say, well, we have to get a right tackle now. It's like when you're diluting your board that much by what equates to 9 slots to move down, I do really think it becomes best player available, and he would certainly qualify for that. So while I think it would be much more likely that they would try to do something similar to what they did with Paris and trade up for Francis Mauigoa, go up and call like a New Orleans right ahead of Kansas City, for me, it's like my guess is the person who wants Jeremiah Love is the owner of the team. I think that I believe that is coming directly from Michael Bidwell. I think everybody, unfortunately, with Monty, they're very like-minded in how they put together, draft boards and premium positions. I'm sure it's Michael Bidwell leading that charge because this team needs Jeremiah Love on and off the field.
I mean, if it is Bidwell, which I speculated a little bit too, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Love goes at 3 then, because in the end it's his team, and if Monty has a short shelf life, we've seen plenty of owners put their thumb on the scale before.
Oh yeah, and I mean, excuse me, it's like what happened with Jonathan Gannon. I mean, they were keeping him until they weren't, until the last minute, and that wasn't a Monty Ossenford decision. He was very much along for the ride, and so to me though, like, why bring back James? Why re-sign or go after Tyler Algier? I think, like, had you not re-signed James and it was just Tyler Algier, I think it'd be much easier to see them come to grips with this pick. But I just don't think they want to pick. I know they don't want to pick at 3. They don't want that pick. They want to move down, but that's easier said than done, especially in this class when everybody's talking about 2027. I think Bailey is your one chip that you could get a team desperate like Dallas to replace Micah Parsons to come up and make a deal with you. Outside of that, the rest of these teams, I expect very little movement in the top 10, which is unfortunate because the draft is intrigue and you want to see teams kind of flip and flop in the top 10, but that's only when players, warrant it. And this year it just doesn't feel like that's the case.
I mean, luckily enough, you've got the Jets ahead of you, and the Jets will jet. So maybe they don't take Bailey, and there's an opportunity for you to make a move. I question whether Missionary Monty will do something that's spicy for us here or not. At 20, if Ty Simpson's sitting there, do you take Ty Simpson, or is that because you'd have 2 picks at 12 and 20? Make it okay to take Ty Simpson at that point and justify, hey, we want to take a flyer to see if this guy can be the one?
Yes, for me, it would. Now, I know a lot of people don't share that opinion. Kurt Warner, friend of our program, broke down, what he thought of Ty Simpson on his YouTube page. I encourage everybody to go check that out. And he's high on him. And he can make NFL throws, and he stands tough in the pocket. And that's what Mike LaFleur is looking for. The 2027 class, the Cardinals don't have the ammunition to be aggressive like the Jets and the Browns. I think they're going to win more games this year than last year. So they're going to be probably in the neighborhood of like 7 to 12 in the top 10. And if you think Ty Simpson, if in your program with your head coach that you hired to develop quarterbacks, can come in here and turn him into a consistent franchise winner, a Kirk Cousins, a Jared Goff-esque kind of quarterback, then you have to make the pick. And so, the ESPN had it. Who's the best fit for Ty Simpson this morning? It's the Cardinals. The Cardinals are the number 1 team associated with Ty Simpson. I don't think he's going to go to the Jets or the Browns or anybody else. So could you theoretically get him at 34? You could. And I think 20 would be the earliest he would go. But if you feel like we have to get out of the first round with him, then you might as well just take him at 20. I would have no issue with that. And I think the Dallas trade down would be a precursor to a Ty Simpson draft pick.
When you look at owner meetings last week, anything come out of that stood out to you or changed your mind on what the trajectory of this team might be?
Just the fact that they know they need a quarterback, which is nice to hear. And like the Jacoby Brissett thing, media driven locally. Hey, he's the guy. He's the unquestioned guy. And, Bo is there and people around the situation understand that, like, you're on the clock here. Like, this isn't acceptable. Like, with all due respect to Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew, no one's coming out and paying their hard-earned money to watch these guys try to compete. You want to watch a young quarterback. You want to watch young playmakers. You want to watch a team that's being developed. I think it's so easier said than done to say, we'll just roll into the season, which McShay Rumors said. It's just like we saw how that losing product turned away fans last year. You're going to sign up for another year of that. Like, we're talking about Michael Bidwell giving the thumbs up for Jeremiah Love. Like, I'm sure Michael Bidwell is a big Ty Simpson fan as well. Like, this team is looking for the quickest way back to relevancy. And for the people who think that Ty Simpson has a limited ceiling, and that's fine, the LA Rams can say, well, we don't want Ty Simpson because he's not Matthew Stafford. The Cardinals are starting from ground zero. They need competency. They just need consistency at the position. And they need hope, and they don't have any hope right now. So this draft in 2.5 weeks has to represent that.
He is Johnny Venerable. Watch him on PHNX Cardinals at 4:30 today. Follow him on socials at Johnny Venerable. Thanks, Johnny.
See you, fellas.
Got to remind you, we've got our draft party night 1 out at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass. You can get in for $50 to $60, depending on if you're a diehard. You can come on out. You're going to get a meal. You're going to get to watch a live show. You're going to get a hat. And you're going to get to hang out with Johnny, Bo, and Noah. Who doesn't want to do that? And I'll even be there, and you can completely ignore me. That's all right. I have no problem with that. So check it out. Go to gophnx.com, click our events tab, and get your tickets today. They are running out. So if you want to be out there, get there soon. Thank you to all the bias in the chat. Hit that like button. A big thanks to Kevo, the dreads behind the desk. Follow him at Kevo Post. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. You can email the show at mailbag@southwestbias.com. And remember, the Cardinals need to trade back because they're going to screw up the 3rd pick. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.